Alright, hello and welcome, and hopefully this is working properly. I do feel off-centered, but I think I'm actually center. So, I am doing a new crime sort of thing, where people basically investigate the crime and talk about it. Not like investigate to find out the solution or the person who committed the crime, but basically just do a little more background into it. I have a Turtle Beach microphone. Hopefully it is working properly. It's supposed to be. I have some outline notes. They're not going to be perfect, but I'm just going to try. I'm going to try not to babble on. I'm going to try to be organized. So basically, I have it outlined, 1 through, I think, 25. And at the end, I give my sources as to where I researched to find everything. Today's topic, I want to try to do a few a week, or at least 2 a week. But today's topic is Tara Grinstead. If you didn't know, Tara Grinstead was a high school teacher. I believe 11th grade is what she taught history. And she was from Ocilla, Georgia. She was age 30 and she went missing October 22nd, 2005. Now my note is over here, so I will be kind of glancing this way. And Irwin County High School is where she taught. For 11 years, no one knew what happened, basically. I didn't even know about this until I listened to a podcast called Up and Vanished by Payne Lindsay, which, very, very good podcast. So if he ends up watching this, very good job. I really enjoy your podcast. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I've been kind of busy. So, what do we know about her last being seen? We know that that day she was at a beauty contest, helping the contestants with their hair and makeup. Now, Tara was a very, very pretty girl, and I will show a picture. Now, I'll have to watch this back and edit it like that. But basically, I'll put a picture up of her and some other pictures throughout the thing or video. Sorry. She was last seen at a cookout. She went after the beauty contest. There was reports that she stopped at someone's house along the way, but I don't think it was ever really confirmed. And if it was, I apologize, my bad. But I don't know if it was actually truly confirmed. But what we know is that she was last seen at a cookout, and I think she left at about 11 p.m. That was the last anyone ever saw of her. Now, some details about it. There's a lot. There's a lot to this, and I tried to kind of put in order, but it was very hard. So what we know is this story got big. This story got very, very big. Newscasts, a number of newscasts across America covered it, and along with podcasts, along with Up and Vanished by Payne Lindsay. She had been missing for 11 years. We had mainly. Oh, I don't know if I'm using that. She had been missing for 11 years, and there were a lot of leads, and there was quite a few of them that actually led up to nowheres. One of them leads was a house fire on Snapdragon Road, I believe. Now, the weird thing was there was this house fire. The couple was down, and it's weird that I remember this stuff because I didn't actually write this down, but I listened to the podcast, and I can't believe I remember this. Side note, sorry, I get distracted easily sometimes. The house fire, basically, it was like, when you barbecue and you put the barbecue coals on there, and there's like nothing left, pretty much that's what it was. I mean, this house got burned very, very badly. There was nothing. The only weird thing was there was a truck that belonged to a guy that lived a little ways down the road, and I guess he was maintaining the house, but I don't think he was anywhere near to be found. And investigators the fire marshal did not know. They thought that was the vehicle of the owners of the couple down in Florida. And the house, they brought in cadaver dogs to search because I think they did think that it might have been related to Tara going missing, but it actually wasn't in the end. The cadaver dogs, they brought down many dogs, and they searched for like 10 hours right after the fire cooled down enough to bring the dogs in. They searched, and the dogs did hit a scent, but the GBI, which is Georgia Bureau Investigations, I believe. Yes, I believe so. Said that it was a sewer line. Now, my question is if the couple hadn't been living there, basically the couple mainly lived in Florida, but they kept their Georgia home. if no one had been in there a while, why did they take a scent to a sewer line if it wasn't being used? It was a little iffy, but it never really turned out to be anything in the end. It was just a fire, it was ruled undetermined. I think it was undetermined. Pending investigation, maybe? I'm not sure about that one. Not sure. But another thing to realize is that this case is still ongoing. So there was actually, as I was researching this a few days ago, there was stuff that just came in like a week or two, or a week and a half ago, I believe. And it was I was like, wow, like, this is still going on. And it was getting kind of interesting. But, what's next? Okay. Another thing about this podcast that I was speaking about, Up and Vanished. A lot of people say that helped re-spark this, the investigation. Now, I think investigators and the authorities are going to tell you, we always have been looking into this, but I think it kind of died out a few years after. I think maybe around 2010, 2012, maybe in that range. I think they started to not get as many leads. I could be wrong. I probably am. I usually am wrong. But a lot of people say that it sparked enforcement's interest into the case again. And that is kind of big. I mean, I think it did. Because it was unsolved for 11 years, and all of a sudden, stuff kind of started to happen. We find out in the end why we got a lead and why we captured the suspects that we did. Now, another thing to kind of consider is there was a latex glove found on her lawn. She went missing Saturday night. And then she was all day Sunday. Basically, her neighbors next door they'd always see her go out. Like, every day they'd see her go out. And they didn't see her go out Sunday, but I guess they didn't really think too much of it. And then Monday morning when she went back to school, when school started back up after the weekend, she didn't show up for class. Students called the police or went to the office, I believe. And then the office, or the school, called the police and said, our teacher's missing, we don't know what's going on. They went there, and there was a latex glove found in the lawn. Now, that's kind of interesting, right? There's another interesting aspect, though. The other interesting aspect is that I do just want to make sure that my voice thing's recording. It is. Okay. The other interesting aspect is that a detective known to be a family friend of the Grinsteads drove over an hour. I believe it was an hour and 15 minutes he drove to check on her, but only left a business card in her door. Now, reportedly, the detective had called Tara's phone 20 times. This sparked with the public. A lot of people, once they heard about this, thought, is this detective having an affair? This is a married police detective, decorated, I believe, even. And is he having an affair with a school teacher? Now, there was nothing that was really confirmed, but, it's one of those things that, the detective, he called 20 times. That kind of makes you think that maybe there is something going on. Because it's weird because who would call your phone 20 times if no one heard about you and the family was worried and you drive over an hour there and you just leave a business card? Now, right now, I'm going to put up a photo of Tara's house that I got. This all I got off Google, and I looked at many photos and they were all the same. Tara's house is not that big. So the real question is, why on earth wouldn't you kind of go knocking around? And if it was a big house, I can understand. You knock a few times, she doesn't come, maybe she's asleep. It was late at night. But the other thing is if he's a detective, why didn't he look around? If I was a detective, I would have looked around the house. Looked in the window, maybe try to peek in the windows, knock on a few windows. I know it might startle her, but if people think she's missing, you kind of want to prove that she's there, or she's not there. And the weird thing is he never found the glove. Now, that could be that apparently this glove could have came from the time of 6 a.m. and 1 a.m. between getting there. So, between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., the glove could have appeared. So what does that mean? That means that she could have went missing at the night or been killed inside her house, and then the people came later on, and then as they're leaving, they dropped the glove. Because if you go outside, you won't want to be caught carrying a glove. That look rather suspicious, especially if no one's heard from her that Sunday. So let's see, where's next though? Let's see, okay. Sorry, got confused. Okay. So, next thing we need to realize. Alright, I'm kind of confused as to where I was. I guess we're just going to jump in because it basically, as I was following this case a little bit, it kind of went. I know I'm not very organized, okay? I should be more organized. I apologize. I'm going to get better at it. If you have any comments as to how I could get better, I'd greatly appreciate it. So basically what we need to look at now, I guess, is who are the people that we found out. Now, how we found about this was a lead. My nose looks really red like it's bleeding, but it's not. Okay, sorry. Side note, I get distracted easily. Bo Duke and Ryan Alexander Duke. These are two names that from now on become very, very, very talked about. So, what we are going to be talking about now is a black truck is seen in Tara's driveway the night she goes missing. That had come up, and people didn't really know what this black truck or whose it was. I don't believe. I think they investigated someone as to who they thought it might be, but basically once the GBI investigated, these people clammed up because they got scared because the GBI was being a little aggressive. Now, we learned about Bo Duke and Alexander Duke in the means of. I just need to find where they get arrested. Okay. So here we have Ryan Duke was arrested on February 23rd, 2017. And Bo Dukes was arrested. Now, they do not have any familiar connection. I mean, they were friends and roommates, but they were not connected family-wise. They just have really similar names, and it's kind of strange in the sense of that. But Bo Dukes was arrested on March 3rd, 2017. So, what happened is the person that's going to become... I did not catch her last name, but it was Bo Dukes' girlfriend at one time, Brooke. Brooke did a podcast with Payne Lindsay. And we got a lot of info from that podcast. From that podcast, the info we got was this. There's a lot of it. So, in a phone interview with Payne Lindsay conducted with someone close to Bo Dukes, told Payne that Bo had told her what his involvement with Ryan Dukes and the disposal of Tara's body. So, I guess I should have broke that down easier. What we heard, now, from the information that I got a few days ago, that happened a week and a half ago, kind of makes us think that maybe what we heard from Brooke may not be entirely what happened, that some things might have been changed or lost in conversation. I don't know. I'm not blaming people. I'm not calling anybody a liar. That's just what I'm going by. That's just from what my perception is, what could have happened. Now, I do apologize if this is all over the place. I will apologize again at the end, but I'm sorry. I'm new to this, okay? So, Bo basically took, from my understanding of this, Bo kind of lost it and said, I need to tell you something. So he told her what happened, that Ryan killed her. And in the charges brought, Ryan was the one who burglarized Tara's house that Saturday night. We found out that, I saw something drop. I thought it might have been a spider. I hate spiders. Basically, they were having a small get-together, and Bo and Ryan lived within a pretty close proximity to Tara's house. So Ryan actually walked to Tara's house, broke in, and he used a credit card to break in. What I found out, that he used a credit card to break in. In the midst of him breaking in the house, Tara woke up and startled him, I guess. And I don't know if there's been reports that Ryan doesn't remember anything, and he even made a statement like that, and that was a leaked statement off in the internet, off of some news site. And the leaked statement was, he does not remember, he shows great remorse for what he did, but he does not remember it. He didn't even know who it was until he saw the pictures. Now, Ryan Duke, I don't know if Bo Duke, I believe so. I'm not entirely sure. But Ryan was graduated 3 years before this happened. He graduated, and Tara taught him in school. So it was a teacher. So that makes me wonder, did he get this idea because he saw her in school, and then maybe he had something that he wanted? Maybe, he wanted something. I don't know. That could be. That's a very well possibility. And one of the considerations to go into this theory that I have is when Bo first sees Tara's body, she has no clothes on. This kind of makes you wonder, what was the purpose behind him breaking in? Because there was nothing really stolen. The only thing that was really kind of noticeable about the break-in when police investigate it was that the lampshade was knocked over askew. So it was kind of a little like there might be a little bit of a struggle there. But other than that, there really wasn't that much. There was reports that there was in the floor, she had hardwood floors, and it was an older house, I believe, so cracks were a little big, and there was pearls from a necklace. So the reports that Ryan Duke was charged with was he strangled her with his hands. He strangled her after he burglarized her, and she woke up, found him. So apparently, I say apparently a lot because I don't know for confirmed, because there's still a lot of court going on. I feel there's a lot of who said what, and Brooke told Payne Lindsay that Bo was shown basically, sorry, I got that wrong. I'm skipping ahead. Ryan basically come back over, because everybody had fallen asleep, I guess, and Ryan snuck out. Ryan came back in quietly, asked Bo, could I borrow your truck? Bo said yes. Ryan takes his truck, goes back to Tara's house. This is what we're learning along in the timeline of it. Ryan takes Bo's truck, puts Tara's body in the back of it, drives it out to Bo's family's orchard. And I think the reason that Ryan did this is so that he can say, I used your truck and I used your family's orchard. What are you gonna do? It's on you now. Which, entirely, I don't agree with that, but okay. So, he does that, and then I think it was a few days later, or maybe it was the next day, basically, Ryan just kind of dumped Tara's body off in the weeds, I think, but it was still in a noticeable area. When Ryan took Bo there, they moved Tara's body way back off more in the trees. Now, around this time, what we need to understand is that it was at a pecan orchard. I don't know how you say it. What's the right way you say it? Let me know in the comments below. Basically, they moved their body off back, and there's a lot of controlled burning that goes on this time of year. I'm not sure exactly what time of year it was. I think it was in the fall, maybe. I'm not sure. But basically, they burned her body. That's how they disposed of it. It burnt for, I think, 3 days, and they came back, threw some garbage on it, and burnt it again. And I think they did that so that it'd be harder for, if anybody did go search the property, to find the remains. Now, Bo took Brooke to the spot where it all happened and showed her and went through everything that happened. Now, another thing to notice is that Tara's car had been used, and both her keys and purse were missing. Bo told Brooke, and Brooke told Payne, that Ryan threw her keys and her purse in a dumpster behind a laundromat. Now, it's possible that he tried to dispose of the body in a dumpster. And maybe it was hard, maybe he couldn't throw her over all the way, so he just threw the keys in the purse. I'm not sure about that. That is a very likely possibility. I mean, a good disposal, throw it in a dumpster, gets crushed, it might be hard to notice. Let's see, what else? What else is there? apparently Ryan had in some way threatened Bo. That's what I found. That's what we heard that could be, and that could be a possibility that he might have had a strong. He might have been, aggressive and threatened him and said, if you don't help me out, you're gonna end up like her. That could be. We don't really know exactly if that's what happened, but there is a good chance that that is what could have happened. I just want to make sure I got everything. Okay, so then we can, I've already used this. Okay. So warrant, according to the warrant read in court, the days or after they were both caught, Duke burglarized her home. When she caught him in the act, he strangled her with his hands and removed her from her home. That doesn't tell us a lot. I mean, that really doesn't. So, Brooke gave the tip to GBI that led to the arrest with Ryan Duke and later with Bo Duke. I think I heard in that podcast, I believe I could be wrong, that Bo kind of turned himself in. I'm not sure. But Brooke basically gave the tip. But she was also very scared that what would happen to her if she gave the tip. So her mom had a friend within the GBI, I believe, or she used to be an attorney or someone like that within the within the court system that could help them out. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel that's kind of selfish. Like, Mom, I know something, but I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, you should tell her either way. I mean, she knew a month before she told anybody. So a month she had known, and that set with her before she finally said, I need to tell somebody. Okay. Now we're going to get into the leaked confessions. In a leaked confession, Duke said that he did not remember taking her clothes off. He said he waited till several hours after the attack. He then called her phone from a payphone to see if she would answer. Now, obviously, I think he was hoping that she would answer, so he says he doesn't remember it. But he must remember some aspects of it. Now, he could have been blackout drunk and not remembered it, but known what he was doing. That's a possibility. But I also think that it could have been more a possibility that he knew, or he might have known aspect. I really don't know. I have sides of it that I want to say, but I also don't. Anyways, after agents said oh no, she would answer. He then went back. Basically, then after she didn't answer, went back and removed her body from her home. Agents, I'm guessing that's GBI agents. I'm guessing. Said that they knew about this phone call for years. Now, whether it was they knew about a payphone call, or they knew exactly what happened, because I imagine if she didn't pick up, he wouldn't say anything, is what I'm guessing, to give himself away. So, the fact they knew about this phone call for years, that says a lot, but it also might not say a whole lot in the aspect of what's it going to tell us, I mean, yeah, they could have known about this phone call and everything that happened and did nothing about it. That says a lot. What doesn't say a lot is they knew that a phone call was made to Tara's phone from a payphone. They really should have researched it, but if there's no cameras around or nobody saw anything, then there's nothing really about that. And they might have said, well, there's no cameras, we're not going to investigate it. I think they should still investigate it. Duke confessed to returning to Tara's house later that night with Bo Duke's truck, wrapped her up in a blanket and placed her in the back of the truck, taken her to Bo's family's orchard and dumped the body. Later on, they returned, moved her body further back into the woods to be burned. Now, with all the controlled burns, no one's going to think of anything. And after it burned for 3 days, then they throw garbage on top of it to mask any remains that would still be there. Now, I don't know how long a body has to be burned. I know it has to be burned at a very high temperature. And apparently, Bo Dukes stayed out there for 3 days while her body burned. I heard that they left and then came back, but I've heard two things. So I don't know which story to believe. I mean, I heard that he stayed out there for 3 days with Brooke. And I would kind of more tend to believe that, to make sure that the fire stays burning and it stays burning hot. Because in order to burn a body, I believe you have to burn it hot. That's what they do if you decide to cremate someone. The burning of the body took several days, and they burned the body once more mixed with trash. And the GBI are still searching for her body to this day, I believe. I don't think they're going to find it. If they haven't found it and they've searched the orchard, I honestly don't think they'd find it. And who knows, maybe they haven't asked one of them to take them to where she was burned. Now, it's been 11 years. I don't know if they got rid of the ashes once it all happened or what. But, I mean, the case is still going. Another thing to know is interesting is the gag order. I kind of did not put them in order. I basically mixed them up. A gag order. Now, if you don't know what a gag order is a judge order that a case may not be discussed in public. So basically, Payne Lindsay was following this case, and once that happened, it put to a stop, because if they catch you talking about it, you're gonna be in big trouble. And news articles, I think newspapers and news stations and everybody basically came in and said, you're taking away our right. We deserve to know what's going on. We deserve to talk about this with the public and let them know what's going on, rather than you giving out what information you feel like whenever you feel like it. The judge, I don't think he completely took away the gag order, but I think he reduced it by quite a bit. And the trial's happening now. So let's go to one of the last aspects of this. What's happening now? This is interesting. This got good. I am thirsty, by the way. Bo Dukes is said to be on the run from police for rape and sodomy charges after 2 women escaped Dukes' house New Year's Day. If you don't know what sodomy charges is, it's basically anything sexual or assault or anything like that that's unnatural. I don't really know how to put that into other words, but basically it's an unnatural way of doing it. This video is 30 minutes long. Wow. Duke is said to have had troubles with alcohol and drug use in the past. Where the site that I read it from was cocaine, that he is said to have cocaine problems. Now, I feel like dealing with something like the Tara case, that could lead to it, but that's no reason to do it. I mean, there's no reason to have an alcohol problem, Basically, I believe Bo Dukes got released on bail. Now, Ryan Duke, after hearing about Bo Dukes being on the run, had his lawyer write to the judge that he wanted to get put on bail for $10,000 because his co-defendant was on the run. That's what he said. And the way he wrote was, if he's convicted, if he gets put in jail and he sees me, I'm afraid of him. That's why I did this whole thing, is because I was in fear for my life. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But with the fact that Bo Dukes held 2 women New Year's Day in his house and apparently, and so to said, raped them and has sodomy charges against him, might contradict his statement that Ryan did all them things to Tara. Because with this thing, we don't know if it was all Ryan. What if it was Bo and Ryan, and Bo is telling our side, and Bo might have said something to Ryan to scare him, we don't know. A handgun is also said been used against a woman on this New Year's Day incident. So if he's on the run and he has a handgun, he might have a violent history. And if he has a violent history, who knows? He might have, like I said, he might have been the one who had this idea to go against this with Tara. Ryan Duke is now asking for a $10,000 bond, which I honestly don't think he's going to get. I don't think he should get it. That's my opinion. You shouldn't. And there is also, with the, what's it called? I completely forgot the charge. But basically, it's been 11 years since this has all happened. And there's talk that they might drop the charges because of, I completely forgot what it's called. But yes, that was that. On Saturday, January 5th, Dukes was captured in a family member's home in Ocilla. He was hiding in a different county in a home in Georgia, and they caught him in Ocilla. So he is now captured as of now, and that was Saturday, January 5th. So I believe that was over a week ago. It was about a week and a half ago, actually, because today's Wednesday. Duke says he only confessed to killing Grinstead due to fear of his co-defendant retaliating against him. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. He could be just saying that because he wants to get out of prison. We really don't know. Or not prison, but jail, because they're holding him because the trial's ongoing. This is a non-related charge, and this is quite interesting, and this is all against Bo Dukes. In a non-related charge, Dukes was charged in 2013 with conspiracy to steal government property. He served 2 years and was released in 2015, but because he failed to pay $130,000 in restitution and failed to fulfill 40 hours of community service, a judge scheduled him to return to federal court in 45 days in November. In 45 days. I think that's why they were looking for him, because of the rape charges as well, but was 45 days after November. That would have been in December. So my question is, had he been on the run since mid-December? Because 15 days after, whenever it was in November. So it might have been, might have been being January he was supposed to appear in court, and he didn't. So I don't know, but I feel he's digging a deep hole. A federal court, that's not going to go well. He might, I don't know, I don't think Georgia has a death penalty, I'm not sure, but there might be a chance that they get it, or they might try to find a way to give one of them that. I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Now for my services used. Up and Vanish podcast by Bane Lindsay. It's a great podcast. I encourage you to go check it out. It's a very good podcast. crimeonline.com. I have found out that I'm going to start using that to investigate the crime and get the details I need for my stories. And I am going to try to be more organized and probably put it all in line, right down the line so I can read it and go from there. WSBTV.com is where I got, I believe is where I got the lead confession from, I believe. CBSNews.com and AJC.com is where I all got my info. I thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try to edit this all together and hopefully it all comes out well. It might not. But yes, I would like to be able to do these a little better. I think I could have done better, but I really wanted to do this. Terry Grinstead case is something that I've been following for a while and I've been very interested. I'm very interested with all the crime ones. Let me know if there's one you want me to do next. I'm going to try to do at least 2 a week, maybe 3 a week. And I do work right now, and there's a big storm coming. I'm maintenance at a facility, and I'm on call. So if there's a big snowstorm, I get called out. I have to keep the roads clear. So, thank you for watching. This was 33 minutes long. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for what I could do to improve this, and share it out. Thank you, and goodbye.